Make progress your daily commitment, not your occasional event. That is where transformation begins. We often wait for the perfect mood, the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity. But progress does not require perfection. It requires decision. And the decision must be made daily. Not once a year, not once a month, every single day. You don't have to make giant leaps. You don't have to change your entire life before breakfast. All you need is one small disciplined action repeated consistently. A page read, a mile walked, a skill practiced, a call made. One small step taken when you don't feel like taking it. Because here's the truth, success is not a dramatic event. It is a quiet process. It is built in the unseen hours when no one is applauding you. It is built in the mornings when you wake up tired but still choose to move forward. It is built in the evenings when you review your day and decide to improve tomorrow. Progress begins with clarity. You must know what you want. If you don't set the direction, you will drift. And drift is the enemy of progress. Write down your goals. Study them. Think about them. When the target is clear, your daily actions start to align. Then comes discipline. Motivation is wonderful, but it is temporary. Discipline is dependable. Discipline says, I will do it whether I feel like it or not. And when you stack disciplined days together, you build momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence fuels more action. That is how progress compounds. But what about the difficult days? The days when things go wrong? The days when you feel discouraged? Those are the most important days. Anyone can move forward when everything is easy. The real growth happens when you decide to take one positive step in the middle of frustration. Even a tiny improvement on a hard day keeps the chain unbroken. You must also measure your progress. What gets measured gets improved. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I grow today? Did I learn something? Did I improve even by 1%? Small percentages multiplied by time create extraordinary results. And remember this, do not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your journey is yours. Compete with who you were yesterday. If you are a little wiser, a little stronger, a little more disciplined today, you are winning. Guard your time. Time is the raw material of progress. Spend it on growth, not on distractions. Invest in books, skills, relationships, and health. Every wise investment in yourself pays dividends for years. Finally, believe in the power of consistency. You don't need extraordinary talent. You need extraordinary commitment. Ordinary efforts, repeated daily, produce extraordinary outcomes. So wake up tomorrow with one intention, make progress, no matter what. If the day is bright, move forward. If the day is dark, move forward. If you feel strong, move forward. If you feel weak, move forward. Because at the end of a year of daily progress, you will not recognize the person you used to be. And that is the miracle of small steps taken consistently. Decide today. Take one step, then another tomorrow. And never break the chain of progress. Progress always begins with clarity. If a person does not know where they are going, any road will take them somewhere, but not necessarily where they truly want to be. In education, the first lesson is understanding the objective. Before solving a problem, you must understand the question. The same principle applies to life. When your goals are undefined, your efforts become scattered. You may stay busy, but you won't necessarily move forward. Clarity gives direction to effort. When you define what you want to achieve, whether it is improving your health, growing your career, strengthening your finances, or developing your character, you create a target. And once the target is clear, your daily decisions begin to align naturally with it. You start asking better questions. Does this action move me closer to my goal? Is this habit helping or hurting my progress? Clear goals filter distractions. They protect your time and energy. An educational approach to progress teaches us to write things down. A goal in your mind is a wish. A goal on paper becomes a commitment. When you put your objectives into words, you make them real. You transform vague ideas into measurable outcomes. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, you define what success looks like. Instead of saying, I want to improve, you decide in what area and by how much. Specificity strengthens focus. Clarity also strengthens motivation. When you understand the reason behind your goal, the deeper why, you develop emotional connection. Education is not only about information, it is about understanding purpose. If your goal is tied to growth, contribution, or becoming a better version of yourself, you will find the strength to continue even when enthusiasm fades. Purpose fuels persistence. Many people delay progress because they are overwhelmed. They see the entire mountain and feel intimidated. But clarity breaks the mountain into steps. Once you define the final outcome, you can reverse engineer the process. What skill must be learned? What habit must be developed? What daily action must be taken? Suddenly, the journey becomes manageable. You no longer focus on the distance, you focus on today's step. Clarity also builds confidence. Uncertainty creates hesitation. When you are unsure about your direction, you second-guess yourself. But when you know your destination, you move with greater certainty. Even small actions feel meaningful because they are connected to a larger vision. Each completed task becomes evidence that you are advancing. Inspiration grows when vision becomes vivid. Imagine the person you want to become. See the results of your consistent effort. Education encourages visualization as a tool for mental preparation. When you regularly reflect on your goals, subconscious mind begins to search for opportunities aligned with them. You become more aware, more intentional, more decisive. Without clarity, progress is accidental. With clarity, progress becomes deliberate. And deliberate progress, taken daily, creates transformation. The clearer your direction, the more powerful your steps. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, every day becomes an opportunity to move closer to the life you envision. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Many people are inspired by great ideas, powerful messages, and exciting possibilities. But inspiration alone is temporary. It rises with emotion and falls with discomfort. Education teaches us that true progress depends not on how we feel, but on what we repeatedly do. Discipline transforms desire into consistent action. Every meaningful accomplishment in life is the result of daily habits. A strong body is built through regular exercise. A sharp mind is developed through continuous learning. Financial stability grows from steady saving and wise decisions. None of these outcomes happen overnight. They are the result of small, disciplined actions performed consistently over time. When we understand this principle, we stop chasing dramatic breakthroughs and start building reliable routines. Discipline begins with personal responsibility. Instead of blaming circumstances, we accept ownership of our choices. An educational mindset recognizes that growth is self-directed. Teachers can guide, mentors can advise, and books can inspire, but ultimately the decision to act belongs to us. Each day presents a simple but powerful question. Will I do what needs to be done, even if I do not feel like doing it? Consistency creates momentum. The first day of effort may feel small. The second day may feel difficult. But as days accumulate, something remarkable happens. Confidence begins to grow. Skills improve. Resistance weakens. What once required effort becomes habit. This is the compounding power of discipline. It multiplies progress quietly, often unnoticed at first, but undeniable over time. An educational approach to discipline emphasizes structure. Success is rarely accidental, it is organized. Setting a fixed time for study, exercise, planning, or reflection reduces decision fatigue. When actions are scheduled, they are less likely to be ignored. Discipline thrives in systems. Instead of relying on willpower alone, we create environments that support our goals. We remove distractions, prepare in advance, and hold ourselves accountable. There will be days when motivation disappears. Fatigue, stress, or disappointment may try to interrupt your routine. These are the defining moments. Anyone can act when energy is high and circumstances are favorable. True growth is measured by what you do on difficult days. When you choose to complete even a small task despite discomfort, you strengthen your character. Discipline is like a muscle, though. More it is exercised, the stronger it becomes. Inspiration and discipline are not opposites, they are partners. Inspiration provides vision. Discipline provides execution. Without discipline, dreams remain ideas. With discipline, ideas become results. It is not necessary to be extraordinary in talent to make progress. It is necessary to be consistent in effort. Daily discipline also builds self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, you develop trust in your own word. That inner trust increases confidence. You begin to believe in your ability to handle challenges and achieve goals. And belief fuels further action. In the end, progress belongs to those who show up consistently, not occasionally, not only when convenient, but every day in small ways with steady commitment. Discipline is not restrictive, it is liberating. It frees you from regret, from stagnation, and from wasted potential. Through daily disciplined action, you build a life defined not by wishes, but by measurable, meaningful growth. Challenges are not interruptions to progress, they are part of the curriculum of growth. Just as in education, where examinations test understanding and strengthen knowledge, life's difficulties examine our character and expand our capacity. Without challenges, there is no development. Comfort may feel pleasant, but it rarely produces transformation. When obstacles appear, many people interpret them as signs to stop. Yet an educational mindset views obstacles differently. They become lessons. Every setback contains information. Every failure reveals a weakness that can be improved. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? A growth-oriented person asks, what is this teaching me? That single shift in perspective changes frustration into opportunity. Difficult days build resilience. Resilience is the ability to continue moving forward despite discomfort. It is not developed in moments of ease. It is formed when plans fail, when efforts are not immediately rewarded, and when progress feels slow. These experiences stretch your patience, sharpen your problem-solving skills, and strengthen your determination. Each challenge overcome increases your confidence in handling the next one. Education teaches that mastery requires practice, and practice includes mistakes. A student learning mathematics will make errors before understanding the solution. An athlete will struggle before improving performance. Likewise, personal and professional growth involves trial and correction. Mistakes are not evidence of inability, they are steps in the learning process. When you accept this principle, you remove the fear of failure and replace it with curiosity. Growth through challenges also refines character. Difficult situations reveal strengths you did not know you possessed. They develop discipline, humility, persistence, and emotional control. When circumstances test your patience, you learn self-management. When outcomes disappoint you, you learn perseverance. When others doubt you, you learn self-belief. These qualities cannot be taught in comfort, they are forged in adversity. Moreover, challenges clarify priorities. When everything is easy, distractions multiply. But when pressure increases, you are forced to focus on what truly matters. Problems demand solutions. They push you to think creatively, to seek knowledge, to ask for guidance, and to adapt. In this way, obstacles accelerate growth rather than delay it. Inspiration is not about avoiding hardship, it is about rising above it. The measure of progress is not the absence of difficulty, but the response to it. Even on the hardest days, a single constructive action, learning one lesson, making one improvement, correcting one mistake keeps momentum alive. Small progress during struggle builds extraordinary strength. When you begin to see challenges as teachers instead of enemies, fear loses its power. You approach difficulties with readiness rather than resistance. You understand that each trial is preparing you for greater responsibility and greater achievement. Progress, therefore, is not a straight line. It includes detours, delays, and unexpected turns. But every experience, when approached with the right mindset, contributes to your growth. The individual who persists through hardship gains more than success. They gain wisdom, resilience, and unshakable confidence. And that is the kind of progress that lasts. Great achievements rarely come from one. Extraordinary effort. They are the result of small improvements repeated consistently over time. Education teaches us the principle of accumulation. Knowledge grows lesson by lesson, chapter by chapter. In the same way, personal and professional success grows action by action, day by day. When you commit to improving even slightly each day, you activate the powerful law of compounding progress. A 1% improvement may seem insignificant. It may feel too small to matter. But small actions, when performed consistently, multiply in ways that are almost invisible at first. Reading 10 pages a day becomes dozens of books in a year. Saving a modest amount regularly becomes financial stability over time. Practicing a skill for a short period daily leads to mastery. The magic is not in intensity, it is in consistency. The educational lesson here is patience. Growth does not always produce immediate visible results. Just as a seed planted in the soil requires time to develop roots before it breaks through the surface, your daily efforts may work quietly before showing outward success. Many people quit because they do not see instant rewards. But those who understand the compounding effect remain faithful to the process, trusting that their steady effort is building something beneath the surface. Measurement strengthens this principle. When you track your progress, even small improvements become visible. A written journal, a checklist, or a simple reflection at the end of the day can highlight growth that might otherwise go unnoticed. What gets measured gets improved. When you see evidence of advancement, even incremental, you gain encouragement to continue. Consistency also reduces overwhelm. Instead of attempting dramatic change overnight, you focus on manageable actions. This approach lowers resistance and increases sustainability. Rather than exhausting yourself with occasional bursts of effort, you create a rhythm of steady advancement. Over time, this rhythm becomes part of your identity. You are no longer someone who tries occasionally, you are someone who improves daily. The compounding effect applies not only to skills and finances, but also to mindset and character. A daily habit of gratitude strengthens positivity. A daily commitment to learning sharpens intelligence. A daily effort to act with integrity builds trust. These qualities accumulate quietly, shaping your reputation and influence over years. Inspiration grows when you realize that greatness is accessible. It is not reserved for those with rare talent or extraordinary opportunity. It belongs to those willing to practice ordinary disciplines consistently. Small efforts, multiplied by time, create remarkable outcomes. Even on challenging days, maintaining the smallest positive action protects the chain of progress. It prevents regression. It reinforces identity. And as days turn into months and months into years, the results become undeniable. What once seemed like tiny steps transform into significant distance traveled. The lesson is simple yet profound. Never underestimate the power of daily improvement. Each small action is a building block. Each day of consistency strengthens the foundation. Over time, these modest efforts combine to produce transformation that appears dramatic to others but to you. It was simply the result of choosing to improve, one day at a time. Progress is never an accident, it is a decision repeated daily. When you gain clarity about where you are going, you give your efforts direction. When you practice discipline, you turn intention into consistent action. When you embrace challenges as lessons, you strengthen your character and resilience. And when you commit to small, steady improvements, you activate the powerful force of compounding growth. Each of these principles works together. Clarity guides you. Discipline sustains you. Challenges refine you. Consistency transforms you. None of them require perfection, extraordinary talent, or ideal circumstances. They require commitment. They require the willingness to move forward even in small ways, no matter how you feel or what obstacles appear. The true secret of daily progress lies in understanding that greatness is built quietly. It is formed in ordinary days through ordinary actions done with extraordinary consistency. Every small improvement adds up. Every disciplined choice strengthens your foundation. Every lesson learned from difficulty prepares you for greater success. You apply these principles faithfully, time becomes your ally. Days become building blocks. Months become milestones. Years become evidence of transformation. And one day you will look back and realize that the life you once hoped for was not created in a single moment. It was built step by step, decision by decision. So commit to growing today. Improve in one area. Learn one lesson. Take one meaningful action. Then repeat tomorrow. That is how progress becomes permanent. That is how potential becomes reality.